All right. We are ready to go. Welcome back to Corbellic Studios. We are rocking and rolling for a Monday show. Today is Monday, right? Yeah, today is Monday. The day's kind of here is that I'm just going to be creating a palette with you guys. It's always enjoyable to see palettes. I remember when I was just starting off and I wanted to just get started in painting. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know what to even have anything off of. I just wanted to be inspired. I would watch artists just create their palettes, and that was just something that was fun for me. Now that I've done it like a million times, right, I forget like how enjoyable it is for other people. So I need to make more of a habit of just creating my palette. All right, something simple like that. Let me make sure that we are live right now. Let me make sure that we're here. Everything is fine. Let me make sure that we're just here. All right. And we are in excellent shape. Hope everybody had a really good weekend. I had a great weekend, had a lot of stuff that I was able to get done. I had a really great week last week. I was able to get a lot of stuff into the community, a lot of the tools that made for you, a lot of the stuff that's going to make your job easier in everything that you do, either from creating the listings, from creating the art prompts, from even reverse engineer. So a lot of the art pieces that we're going to be doing today is going to be based off of me playing around with the new tools as well, where I did the reverse engineering and I did the auto creation of the art prompts. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get started with this. Let's get started with this paint palette. All right, I have to do that. I have these are my favorite brushes right here. Look, I spent years with different paint brushes creating, right? And I'm going to tell you, your job gets so much easier as long as you have the right paintbrush. And you don't need to go out there and spend so much money. Like, you don't need to believe in these videos or these things saying that, oh, you need to spend $20, you need to spend $30, you need to spend $50. No, not at all. I spend what? I spend $4 because I always get these on like 40-50% off. This is from Hobby Lobby, and I go when they have their sale week, which is every other week. And this is my favorite brush right here. These are the ones that I use. These are the synthetic firm. I like it firm because that way I can have more impressions on it. I hate the loose ones. I used to be painting on the loose ones for years, and I didn't understand why my art didn't look like other artists, or why it just couldn't come out looking strong. The real secret is make sure that you have firm brushes. So I use these synthetic ones right here. I didn't even crack them open, but these are my favorites right here. I buy so many of them weekly. All right, so let's get into this right now. Let me see who we have here in the community so far. We have Sweet Life here. We have Misty here. We have Carrie here. We have Shayla. All right, or Shayla. I'm just cracking these brushes open right now, and then we can get started. We can get started. I'm excited to get some paintings on. Painting is always going to be therapeutic for me. It's like, it doesn't matter whatever goes on in my life or how busy I am or other stuff that I'm operating, right? Like, I will always come back to painting. So I think like my whole life, I will always be a painter regardless. Like, I had like so many different things and different businesses and things that I had to take care of. And then it's like, oh, I need a vacation. I need a vacation. Let me get back to the painting. The painting is always so fun. It always brings me back to something that I actually can control. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start off with the white. I always start off with the white when it comes to the palette. I'm just making sure that we do have our palette cam up, and we do. And look, white. I use a lot of white. So as you can see there, I go through a lot of white. That's a lot of white. I mean, that's probably like half of the day that I would go through, but yeah. And then the next color that I do is our beige color. Verdant Garden. How you doing? Morning. Oh, look, I already have some pink left. If I could open this thing up, Lord, it's stuck. I need to mix it in here. I'm trying to see if I have another one down here. Now I need to bust these open. Darn it, but they're stuck. They're really stuck on top of each other. I'm trying to mix the The beige. Lord. Maybe I do it one at a time. I think that's working. There we go. And then I'll do the other one. Let's see here. Jim says some of us were on the school video link. There was a school video link? Did I send a link wrong? Do I need to check it right now? I could have swore I sent it right. I think I sent it right. Maybe I didn't send it right. Huh. Yeah, maybe. Let me check the calendar. Hold on. Let me check this real quick. I'm telling you, there's always like a million, trillion different things to check off on here. So I'm just copying one of my links right now to this and then making sure that I have it in the calendar correctly for people. Unbelievable. Corbellic. Always something. Right? Yep. Unbelievable. I sure didn't put a link in there. All right, there we go. I just updated that. Thanks, Jim. Let me go to the other page as well. Update it over there. Silly rabbit. Calendar. Update. I think I put it right on the first one. Yep, I put it right on the first one. There we go. Cool. Wait, I don't even think I put the right link on there. Sorry. Couple seconds. It's Monday. You know how Monday is. We're getting into the groove. All right, so that's correct. Yeah, that is correct. It's Monday. Tomorrow will be streamlined much easier. I'm telling you, it took me over an hour today to get ready for today's show, like from wiring to also some new things that I'm going to be implementing into the show today. So it's going to be a really cool show. You guys are in for a treat. All right, boom. All right, we're back. Boom, we're back. All right. By the way, the school video system seems pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, in the calendar, exactly, but it's like it has to be linked to the YouTube link. I can't do it from the school thing, but it does seem cool. I use Zoom instead. Like when we use Zoom on the Q&As, like we do Q&As every Sunday for people who aren't in. And I just do the Zoom better because they have a better calendar system for when people do one-on-one meetings. So that way I don't have to schedule it out. So that's why I'm not on the school thingy. Hey, Esther. Hey, Lee. All right, we got everybody here. I updated it. I apologize. It was updated correctly on the free community. All right, so back to it. We are going to be updating or just doing some of our palette right now. But what I was saying is that no matter whatever happens in life, I'm telling you, you're always going to like go back to wherever your baseline is at. And my baseline is always going to be painting. Always. And it's just such a blessing. I've been so busy with the other stuff, making sure other things were right with the foundations inside of the community. And then it gets to a point where you're like, especially playing around with the art tools that's in there with the reverse engineering. And the art prompts, looking at a whole bunch of stuff, like I'd be like, man, I want to paint. I always want to paint. And that's why I said too, like when I started doing eBay, it was just a blessing from God just to even be able to paint for a collector. I wasn't day trading the numbers or anything like that. I wasn't being like, I want to get rich right now. It was more like, whoa. When I was doing the gallery stuff and when I was in those phases, I had everybody jerking me around all the time, trying to do negotiations. Everybody's trying to get a deal off of me. Everybody's trying to get like the stuff that I actually spent Mona Lisa time off of. They want to get like these big deals off of it, or you find out a lot of these people are broke. I think about that all the time. Some of these people who, especially living in LA, they would tell everybody online they got these big businesses. They're driving around in G-Wagons and Jaguars and all kinds of stuff. They love your art, but then when it was time to do business, they would actually show you some of their books, and these people were broke. I'm like, but how are you? You're broke. And then when it came down to doing eBay, and then I'm like, whoa, I can actually have collectors that I could build relationships with, and actually like sell to, and I don't have to do all this face-to-face stuff, and it's like it's so awkward. It gets awkward. I don't want to do negotiations all the time, and I'm thankful to God when it comes to eBay. Even when we do commissions, I don't have to really do negotiations like how I had to do it in the gallery phase or when I'm in that world, because I have more of the leverage on eBay. I don't have to do all this back and forth stuff and like, oh, you like my stuff for free. When I was in the gallery phase, you know how many times people would want art from me on consignment? And especially like if you're in a big city, restaurants, hotels, or people in the music industry or in the industry, Hollywood and all this, they would want artwork from you on consignment for free. But then they would always do the upsell to be like, um, um, they would always be like, well, we have so much superstars and we have famous people that come in through here all the time, and they might want your artwork. They'll see your artwork. You'll get famous that way. We have a plenty of shows that we shoot, and you'll get your artwork. And then I would sell myself cheap, and I would give them artwork, these big gallery pieces that I spent Mona Lisa time on, and I would let them hold it for consignment. Months would go by, and then there's no purchases, there's no buys, nobody's inquiring. They just sell these lines to you just so they can have pretty artwork onto their walls for free that they didn't even have to pay for. And then I send my assistant over there, or I tell them in advance. I say, hey, you know what? I got my assistant coming over who's going to collect the artwork. They want to, then they show their true colors a little bit. They want to be like, well, but it's doing really well. Yeah, you just want to hold on to free artwork, but it's not moving anything. I'm not selling it, so I want to take it off your wall. So just so I could get out of that awkward feeling or whatever, because it's like, you know, these people, they pretend like we're cool. I'll send my assistant over so it could pick up that artwork off the walls. And then after you do that, you never hear from these people again who pretended to be so cool with you. And they got people coming in to view your artwork on consignment. And they're going to purchase it one day, I promise. With eBay, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So I was just thankful to God when I got collectors that I could build off of, and that were coming in, and I don't have to deal with all of this negotiations and this human stuff. The buyers also just wanted to be transparent too, and a lot of them just want to be anonymous and just do the deal, do the sale. Fine, I could focus on that. We don't have to do this back and forth stuff. We could do good business together and just keep it as a professional relationship, and I don't have to pretend like to be your best friend. or for free and all this stuff. It's awesome. eBay's awesome. All right, let's see here. Jim says, yep, for closed meetings, it might be cool. Closed meetings, like, but we have the closed meetings for the Zoom. So I just do Zoom that way. I don't know. Maybe I'll play around with it and see if there's some type of other different meetings that I can do with the school thing. But I mean, I just been playing around with Zoom so long. It's kind of like Zoom is so easy. All right, what's the next color that we're going on to since we did the pink? See, I'm already lost in my flow. I think the next one is it orange or is it yellow? I think it's yellow and then orange, yeah. So let's do the yellow. And I get my yellow from Blix because I can make it strong. Yellow is one of those colors where it comes out kind of transparent and it's hard to make strong, but you can make it strong by just adding a little bit of white to it. Hey Molly, happy to have you here. Boom, there we go, right there. So I don't know if anybody's had any experience like that or any other kind of funny stories. I think that's why it's always like my tribe relates to me because you've already gone through certain stories or certain things with people where it's like the back and forth of the art world and all of these things that you have to go through and jump these hoops. It becomes awkward. Either you want the art or you don't want the art. Either you want the sale or you don't want the sale. eBay cuts straight to it. I don't want to do all this back and forth. And I don't want you to explain to me how you're going through a divorce and you get paid next month, but you promise when you get paid next month and your tax refund comes through because you're going through litigation that you're going to buy one of my art pieces. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm not waiting for you to do it either. I'm moving on to a sale. I got so many funny stories. Check this out. This weekend, I had this guy reach out to me on Instagram. I'm not gonna say guy. It was a collector, but it was a collector who bought one of my large gallery pieces from me, which was it was a Mona Lisa piece. It was an actual Mona Lisa piece, which is funny because we always talk about Mona Lisa piece. I painted a large Mona Lisa piece, and the collector bought it. The collector is in China, so I shipped it to them in China. They paid for the shipping and everything. It was through freight, crate, all that, because it was a large piece. And this was like, I want to say it was 6 years ago. He hits me up yesterday on Instagram and he's like, hey, because his whole idea for the Mona Lisa was that he was going to flip it and that he was going to make so many different prints out of it. And he was going to make like a whole brand off of it where he was going to like make keychains and make whatever and this, that, the other. And if you're not the artist yourself, such as me or whatever, that's a hard market to flip as a reseller. People think that you could just do that and just, but then again, who knows how things work in China. So I always said to him, hey, go for it. Like, I'm not going to hold your hand on the sale, or I'm not going to be like, oh, no, you don't have no right to do that. If you want to do that, you could do that with the art piece. I don't care. You have my permission, because he paid a good price for it, especially to be 6 years ago. He hits me up out of the blue this weekend. Haven't heard from this guy in years. He's talking about, do I want to buy the painting back from him? Can you believe these people? I didn't even reply back to it. Silly ass question. Do I want to buy? I'm the artist. Do I want to buy back a painting from you? Like, well, that doesn't even make sense. Why would I want to do that? And then, funny story, 2 weeks ago, I got hit up from a collector who bought a lot of artwork from me on eBay. They were a reseller, but whatever's going on in their business, I don't know. It's not my business. He hits me up and was like, I got a lot of your artwork. Would you like to buy it back from me? I ain't even reply. What are you talking about? Their white seems decent. Blix. Oh, Michael's yellow. Oh, Michael's white. I don't know. I don't know. Blix, I love Blix's white. But yeah, can you believe that? How you gonna? You can't reach out to an artist asking them if they want to buy some of their artwork back. I'm an artist. The point is to get off of it, getting rid of it. After that, it's your business what you do with it. I should have told him that I should have told him to join the community so he could have learned how to sell it. Like I always tell people, like, don't worry about resellers and all that stuff because we're going to be able to sell our artwork more and faster than they'll be able to sell it, and they're going to be sitting on it. So let them buy it. Let them buy it. Don't even worry about it. Let them buy it. We're going to be able to sell it faster and more than they will for more money too. All right, so now what is the next color that we go through? The next color that I like to put down right here is going to be our brown because I put it right here. So I'm just going to put it direct out the tube. When you say Michael's white, what is that? That's Artist Loft. I think that's their brand. I think Michael's brand is called Artist Loft. I only like their half gallon colors when it comes time for me to do, like, if I'm laying a bunch of canvases on the table and I'm doing background expressionism colors, like in the background, like I'm doing them real quick and I just need that quick background, like a cheap color background, I'll do that. Those whites are fine for that. But for me to actually paint, I don't particularly like it. But I like it. I like if I'm going to put them in a bunch of, I'm going to put a bunch of those colors in different Tupperwares, put them on the table, and then I'll just get prepared like a bunch of backgrounds. Like I'll do things like that, then that's fine. Let them dry out, and then I'll work the principle. That's fine. All right. Now let's put the dark purple next to it, just like this. All right, now it's time for our green. Here's our green. I bought this green this is Master's Touch green. I bought it from Hobby Lobby. It's okay. It does its job. It has the same type of thickness as let me see if the palette is showing it fine. Okay, it is. It has the same type of thickness as a Liquid X, so that's fine. That's fine by me. Now let me put in my cyan on. But now that I think about it, Lee, Artist Loft is really great for your type of art. It's great for anybody's art, really. I mean, it's really great because you use a lot of washes. So it's good. It's good to just go through it. I tell people all the time, don't spend so much money on paint and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. That's just a way for you to try to, like, get away from being an artist. Like, it doesn't matter. Just create. And especially on eBay, they're not thinking about that stuff, and it doesn't matter. Some people are like, oh, well, but if you get a different kind of paint, will it last 1,000 years? Will the buyer last 1,000 years? What are you talking about? It'll last long enough to do the job. It'll last long enough to do the job. 1,000 years? Like, we're not selling to the Louvre. But yeah, for your artwork, Lee, it'd be great for those washes. And I always suggest for that type of paint anyways, like especially if people want to go larger, because sometimes you do want to go larger in your work. You want to have those Rolexes in your store. Not only we talk about Rolex pricing, but you got to have some Rolex pieces in there too. Some larger gallery pieces that make people at least know where your baseline is at. Oh, this is a serious artist. They also have this type of stuff. And then when you're doing larger pieces, you know, a lot of times you don't want to spend money on paint. I mean, even though Liquidex is not expensive, it's expensive enough if you're going to be doing like larger pieces all the time. So, you know, things like Blix, Artist Loft, they're great substitutes for larger pieces or for a lot of washes. All right. I think now it's just black and that's it. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Let me get my brushes ready. We do. Let me get my. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. That wasn't too bad, right? And then I'll probably make oh, here's the black down here. I'll probably cut this up into a video as well too, just by itself. That way people can see the process of how we do our palettes, right? This is our ritual. This is an important ritual of what we do. Is the paint palette. I remember when this process used to take me like an hour or so to do because I was just like treating it so serious. Like I would mix it with different mediums like the dry slow mediums, and I would have like golden brand paint. It has to be golden brand. And I used to like it used to be such a ritual for me. And then it was just like you're just doing that to not paint. You're just wasting time. Because then what would happen is after I got done doing the mixtures of my palette, I would be done for the day. I'd be like, whew, I did a lot of work. I'm done for the day. That was awesome. All right, now let's get this going. All right, I have our artwork ready too. What we're going to be doing, and I pulled all of our artwork off of our references. Some of them off of some of it off of the reverse engineer. Yeah, I know. We drink white. As artists, we drink the color white. We go through so much of it. You know what? I'm going to start off with a 16 by 20. This is one of the ones that we wheat pasted a couple weeks back. And I figure we might as well have some fun with it and get it done while we're here. Show you how I go through my mixed media pieces. This is going to be really fun. I sold thousands of these, thousands upon thousands of these mixed media pieces right here because they always sell well when people see that you have the mixed media piece on the background. The reason that I've sold thousands of them because it makes the art more valuable, and the price point always goes up. It brings more traffic into the store. It brings more eyeballs onto it, and they always have a high price point. Let's do this. Boom. All right. There we go. Let me tighten this up. Make sure our projector's ready. I'm just making sure that it's all lined up. Let me make sure it's also zoomed in correctly. When it comes to doing, darn it, when it comes to doing mixed media pieces, sometimes it feels like you could barely see some of the parts in it because of the newspaper or whatever. So one of the tricks that I do is I lay a white down on the areas that I know I'm going to paint. I think that's good enough. Yeah, I lay a white down or a bright color down on the areas that I know I'm going to paint so that way I can see it. I still feel like this isn't clear enough for me. And there we go. That's better. So for example, let's take out the big one right here, the big brush, which is the 1.5. And actually I'm gonna put white in this tub right here so I don't have to use the white from the and I'm going on this one, I'm gonna use Liquid-X white. I'm gonna put it in a Tupperware tub so that way I could just pour it straight from here and I don't have to get it from the palette. Sometimes I prefer to do that if I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of background or if I'm going to be doing a lot of a certain color. I'd rather use it from a Tupperware than use certain colors from my palette. I more like look at my palette as my principal colors of what I'm going to paint with the piece with. All right. So I'm just going to be rough with it like this because these are going to be expressionism pieces. But also I'm doing this so I can see more of what we're painting. But at the same time, I don't want to paint too much over the mixed media because that's the selling point of what we're painting, right? Watch, these are going to be beautiful pieces, how these come up. They're always beautiful, right? All right. And this is how when you see gallery artwork, this is how they do it. They do it with these big brushes just like this and just these strokes. And then they let it dry. You never see small paintbrush strokes. Like you always see it like that. So we're just going to let it dry a little bit. And now you can see we have a better idea of what we're painting, which is this bull right here. And this is going to be a cool bull. It's going to be like neo-expressionism. And then we could also make it more mystic and more like social political or something like that, more make it deeper than what it is. I don't know. Like I said, we used AI references to come up with this. We didn't try to recreate the wheel and we didn't try to take from other people or anything like that. These are our designs, but it just come from our mind. And then we did a co-work with AI to help us have our thoughts populate a little bit better than what we want. A lot of times as artists, we're always going through these moments where we want something to look like how our brain is, or even buyers have that problem. And then we can't get there even though we want it. And we're like, dang, I know what I want it to look like, but it just can't do it. AI is a great tool to help you get to that, to meet you halfway. I'm telling you, a lot of times, you know me, I believe that we're all geniuses, but I also believe that maybe we just need help on meeting us halfway to find our genius. So like, for example, I think that maybe a lot of us are better thinkers or better ideas than actually where they be like, okay, now you have to do it yourself. Like you have to put it into the physical practice of it. And you're like, I can't really do it that way. Maybe you're better mentally as a architect than engineering, right? Does that make sense? Of course it makes sense. All right, let's see here. So Jim Backyard Builder says here in the comments that he's been selling his artwork on eBay for 7 years and he worked 35 years painting house and now he is a full-time stay-at-home dad, artist, and he says you have to put the time in and it will pay off. I promise you. He promises you. He's so right. It's so true. He promises you. It's so true. You have to put the time in. You just have to put the work in and it'll come back for you. And then it gets better and it gets easier over time. I don't ever want people to think that you have to always like grind it out every single day, because then eventually you'll get burnt out. But you have to be in that mindset when you're starting off your first month or so. That way the algorithm understands who you are. They have an understanding that you're just not somebody who's going to paint or start your store and then you're going to go away. You know how many people they see that's like, oh, I want to start a business and I want to be a reseller, or I want to be whatever, and then they just go away. And then they have to pay for that server. They have to pay on their data centers to host you. So they just want to make sure that you're still going to be around. And then it gets easier where you don't even have to create as much for the sales to come. You don't even have to do it. You could take your vacations. You could take your time. All right. So on this first topic today, this first subject matter that I want to talk about is how it's kind of a segue of what we just talked about now, but how artists are hobbyists. Most artists are hobbyists. And they become hobbyists by not putting the time in like we were just talking about, but also like thinking that everything has to be more difficult than what it is. And thinking that the hobbyist part is how you become a true artist, not making any money. So like what I always say is if your art is making $0, then you're not an artist, you're just an hobbyist. All right, so let's do this quick. So right now you can see I have the 1-inch brush, right? And I'm just going through the body of the bull. I'm not making it any detail more than what it is. I'm not doing anything deeper. I'm just going through it quick. I always think like, New York expressionism. Anything else we could tighten up in the end, but you don't need to worry about tightening things up now. One of the things that helped me is that you could just do the large brush strokes now as early as possible. Do as sloppy as early when you're coming out the gate, and then later on you could kind of tighten it up if you choose to. If you're just coming into this video, leave me a like on the video if you haven't already. Even more appreciated, leave me a super chat. But a lot of artists think that you have to suffer to be an artist. Paintings. That's why a lot of people don't want to be an artist, because they think that you have to suffer and you have to make these difficult paintings that take forever. You have to be a loner who's in the studio in the dark studio for 16 hours and come up with the ideas all by yourself, these new ideas. And then if it doesn't work out, then you just didn't think hard enough. You didn't do hard enough research. You didn't suffer hard enough. You got to suffer more. Like if you've been painting for 5 years and you're still making $0 from it, like you don't have, it's not that don't have you have a talent problem. You just have a distribution problem. Lady Jane, yes, I have a system all for that inside the elite community for titles. You don't even have to think about it. I have a tool in there. You press one button and it creates the SEO best titles for you. You don't even have to think about it. So then that way, only thing you do, you just copy it and then you put it right into the eBay system. And it has the most up-to-date top trending SEO keywords in there from Kissimmee, which is their AI. So that's why I always tell people, like, once you're in the community, you don't even have to, you don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to figure a lot of this stuff out. It's like, there's no guessing game on there. And then if you are part of the elite community, then the course is there inside the classroom for the AI tools. I always say that the word I always say that the word artist has been weaponized by the art world to keep people chasing validation instead of revenue. And the galleries are the ones who profit from that confusion. Right? Thank you for the super chat, Carrie. I greatly appreciate it. That really means a lot to me. Carrie says, love your videos, Corbellic. I start off every morning listening to you while I paint. You are very inspiring. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. That means more to me than you know. And it will come back to you. It always comes back to you. That's a blessing. You know what I see in this world, and this is the different topic, and it's kind of crazy. And you'll probably notice this too in your world, but there'll be people who will be like, there's people actually out there who's like, well, why should I contribute any type of money towards you, a super chat, or give you any kind of appreciation or acknowledgement, or why should I join your course? You've already made so much money over the years, Corbellic. You don't need any more money. Those people, that's a broke mindset. That's a broke mindset. I seen someone on the video say something like in regards to, oh yeah, he sold 18,000 paintings, but yet he's asking for super chats. That's somebody who doesn't get it. You're still worth your knowledge. In business, billionaires play golf with other billionaires and they spend money on country clubs and they spend money for certain societies and clubs. You think it's because they want to play golf? No, it's because of the knowledge that they gain and the relationships. That's how you get in. That's how you get in with people. Thank you, sweet life. I've been listening while I've been prepping for dinner. But that's how you get in with people. You'll never hear a millionaire talk like that. Millionaires and billionaires, everybody has coaches. Everybody gets information. No one goes, oh, well, you're already the owner of this football league or basketball thing or whatever. Why would we have to give you money or pay for the country club or any of that stuff? No one talks like that. I always talk about how the biggest companies, they understand the power of giving back, because it comes back triple for you. These are things that Rockefeller always talked about, Carnegie Hall always talked about. Always give advice to people if you ever want to get in a relationship with somebody or business wise. Never try to come empty handed. Always come from the standpoint to say, you know what, I've been watching you for a while. I understand. I appreciate the value that you've been giving for free, the information that you've been giving. And I just want to donate some money to you. I just want to hear, maybe buy a book from you or whatever it is. If you reach out to them like that, they'll be more open to having a relationship with you and listening to you than someone who's just coming with empty-handed and been taking information for free. Don't be a freeloader in life. It's not about me watching, God's watching. But back to what we were talking about is that the word artist has been weaponized to keep you poor. And it's so ingrained in all of us, even to this day, even though I've made a career off of selling art, it's still ingrained in me that artists should be broke. Because that's all we've heard our whole life is that it should be hard. You should be struggling. It shouldn't come easy to you. Well, my mom said that that's a dying industry and that, you know, artists are struggling artists and they're broke. And it keeps you confused. But also the galleries are plugged into that. So that way it keeps it, those are the gatekeepers. The art world hates how we sell art and how we do it because we don't need them. They're not robbing from us on their percentage fees. They're not taking 50% from us with nothing. Those days is over with and they're mad about it. That's why you see last year, the most galleries have closed all throughout Chicago, New York, LA. They had such a hold on who could be artists and who couldn't be. So that's why at times when you would see artwork and you would see that it sold for thousands of dollars and it looked like you would think that, well, I could do that. That doesn't look that great. It's because there was a hold on what was considered art through the galleries. They're the ones who consider what was art. So that way they can control what the market sells for. And now they're mad because they don't have a control of that market. But also, you don't need social media. You don't need social media and eBay or Instagram for that. Because then that plays back into the game of the portfolio, the galleries. It's easier. It's also easier, like to tell you the truth, since you're here, it's also easier to have money laundering that way. There's so many ways of what they'll do. Certain people will do actual tax write-offs through philanthropy of artwork that they're giving back to a museum or something like that. But it's all connected. A plumber who doesn't get paid isn't called a plumber, right? Like a chef who doesn't get paid isn't called a chef. Now apply the same standard. We need to apply the same standard. And some people want to be like, oh, well, how you're doing it though. See, they also try to get in our head and say that we're selling out. And that's the thing that kind of stopped me for a while from making money. Like I could have made so much more money earlier if I got outside of my head of the idea of that I'm selling out. oh, but aren't you selling out? It gets to a certain point where you're going to be making more money, and you're going to be making so much money where no one's going to say selling out no more. It doesn't even become a conversation, because then it becomes obvious that somebody's hating, or they're just being negative and they don't even understand. Selling out to who? So what? I should just be the poor artist. This is what people wanted for so many years. They want you to be the poor artist who's not making any money, but you're doing it for free. And it's a great thing, because you're actually making really great polar bear hair artwork that's beautiful, and it means something to somebody's soul, and it should mean something to you. We really appreciate it. Thank you. We need to get away from that idea of selling out and then the ego, because that's not helping us. And the people who we're scared of thinking that we're selling out, those people are not checking for us for real. They're not paying our bills. They just want you to be stuck of not making any money. I promise you. When I was in my gallery days and I was in the art world, and I was so worried of people finding out that I was selling artwork on eBay because I'm selling out. Then a couple years later, when people found out that I was able to buy different studios, I had different locations, I was able to go on vacations, they see different pictures and I'm able to do stuff, then they're like, oh, the conversation is different. They don't say that no more. No one says it's selling out. They be like, oh, I understand. You got a business. Yeah, it's a business. Now you're selling out. You're selling out because you're doing this old pretty artwork that's taking forever, but yet you're still a hairstylist on the side, and that's your real thing, and you wish that you could do it, but you can't do it because you're worried about what the industry has to say, because you think one day the industry is going to come upon the heavens and they're going to say to you that you're the chosen star. It doesn't happen that way. You have a better chance of hitting the lottery or going to the NFL. And I don't mean to be a pessimist of that way, to be like, I'm not one of those type of people, but I just know the reality. I'd rather have control over my career, over my life, than waiting around for some golden ticket that's not going to happen. And because then they're having more control over my career by not even wanting me part of the game. I'm just going to wait for you. I don't want to be a sellout. I used to worry about stuff like that so much until I started, like, the only thing that's going to save you is the dollar amount. You're not going to be worried about selling out anything when you have a certain dollar amount. If you want to be successful in business, make enough money where none of this stuff is going to affect your ego or any of that stuff, because you're like, I'm making enough money where I'm doing these choices. The only time that we're worried about certain choices or about selling out or about our ego or worried about other people is when we're not making enough money. But just put yourself in a situation where you're actually scaling yourself up and you're making enough money where it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't care what anybody says, right? Like, but there was years where I used to care. And to be honest with you, I always tell this story, is that's why I also wasn't on social media for a long period of time. I wasn't, when I'm selling on eBay, I wasn't on social media for 6 to 7 years. I didn't post anything. I didn't post, here's my new artwork. Give it a like, give it a heart. Here I am, everybody. I wanted to be a ghost. I wanted people to forget about Corbellic, and I'm just going to focus on my market, that's eBay, because eBay's market, the people who buy on there, they're separated from the art world of the gallery Instagram people. They're not part of that, because those type of people, they're not buyers. The buyers who are actually on eBay, they're not part of that same world. So they don't know, like, you might have a couple people who would do some research on you to see who you are or whatever, but it's not connected to the same world. So I was just fine with just focusing on the world of where the sale was at, where the money's at. instead of the people where they weren't paying my bills and I'm supposed to be worried about you. Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I got a family. I got I got bills to pay. I always say that bills are due every single day, and I had to be realistic with it. I'm going to put on this one revolt, and then maybe at the bottom like bank or something like that. That'd be cool. Bank. That way, this will be like maybe a Wall Street piece. So when I have this title that we're talking about right now, where it was like artists become hobbyists, I'm saying from a standpoint of where I was there, but it's also not entirely their fault. It's more like being brainwashed into this whole thing to keep you poor and broke on purpose. They can't have you part of a whole system where you're making money and figuring it out. I don't know if you're old enough, which I mean most of the people who are here are old enough, but we all have to understand, even when it comes to eBay, even when it comes to whatever, life in general, when I say bills are due every single day, I'm saying that life wants the blood from you, but they also don't want to make sure that it's easy for you to break free from the system or from whatever your slavery is, either if it's your job or whatever, right? Like you have to know that there's always more force going against you than for you. If it wasn't that way, then there would be more millionaires in the world than there are poor people. So I would always put myself in the mindset to be like, no one's going to take from me, which they have already taken so much from me. And if I allow them, they're going to keep taking from me. No one's going to give to me for any reason unless I give it to myself because they don't owe it to me. And if they would have it their way, I'd just be like anybody else where I die poor, wishing upon a star that something is going to happen one day soon. Only way something is going to happen one day soon is if I make it happen. And it is I mean, it's a marketing. It's it can be a marketing problem, but not really because the marketing could also be on social media, and a lot of people are marketing themselves. They're marketing the hell out of themselves on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. So I can't really say it's a marketing problem because you could do really great with the marketing. The problem is it's where the market is at. Are you marketing yourself to a place where they say the market is there, but it's not because Instagram, social media has a almost 0% conversion rate. You have to go to where the actual dollar is at, where people spend the dollar. People are spending their dollars on eBay. You have 150 million credit cards that's already linked to the system, and you have 189 million shoppers and buyers that's already there looking for the art. It's not really the marketing per se. It's just where it's at. No, this isn't an oil pastel. This is more like a crown. This is a fancy crown that I get from Blix, and it's called Caranche, something like that. It's like a French word. I'm butchering the name. Like, yeah, so it's not about selling out. This is about whether the thing that you invested years in of your life into is working for you or against you. I had people who didn't understand at first. They always thought that I was going to be making these deep paintings all the time. This painting means this. This painting means that. It needs to be deeper than this. And then those paintings don't sell like that because it's such a smaller market compared to when I changed it up and I started doing Care and Karen Dosh. Thank you, Verdant Garden. I knew someone was going to correct me on it and have it correctly. I appreciate you. But I always tried to spend so many hours trying to have the most like original idea, or maybe something was going to be deeper, or mystic, or maybe even social political, or something like that type of paintings. But though that market is very small and compared to when I switched it up and I started doing like landscapes, um, you know, landscapes, impressionisms, flowers. These are things that are more practical that more of the market wants. There's a wider market of people who want that. So why don't you just make that? Even if you go to Google and you send the top trending art, you see that. But I wasn't creating art like that because I was thinking in my mind, well, I'm Corbellic. Nobody wants that. But then once I start making that art and I'm making money, I remember starting off, people would be like, oh, you're selling out. You're selling out because you're making flowers. Karen Dosh. Karen Dosh. Thank you. That helps. And I'm like, man, those flowers are paying my bills though. And the paycheck is coming every single day. Cause how we work is we get the paychecks every single day. I love that. I love where I get paid every single day. Artists don't get paid every single day, so you have to budget on when the next paycheck is going to come. I don't like that. I used to do that for a while, and it used to give me stress. I used to stay up at nighttime thinking about what kind of new creative art piece that I need to do to be super creative and original. So that way people could buy it and I can then, okay, let's just say you get lucky. In three months, somebody buys that piece. Then you're stressed out again because it's like, when's the next painting that's going to get sold? Then I got to budget my money and figure out. It's just, it was so stressful. So stressful. And people want to tell me to not paint on eBay and go backwards when I'm getting paychecks every single day. I could build up my catalog, build up my collectors. I'm getting the largest commissions that I've ever received in my life all came from eBay. Nonstop. So get away from that idea that you're selling out. You're only selling out if you're not providing and you're not selling artwork. You're selling out by worrying about what these people think who aren't buying your artwork. It's 2026. You're selling out by not selling. We got people who depend on us. Even if you don't have like kids or a family, you still got family. Maybe you got a mom and dad. You still got people who depend on you. That's why when inside the community, the first question that I ask inside the 14-day orientation is what? Name your why. Because that's the thing that's going to drive you. That's the thing that's going to be like, remind you of why you're getting out of bed, why you're painting. Name your why. What is your why? Make it bigger than yourself. It has to be bigger than these people who think that you're selling out. Please. I'm telling you, the moment that you demand that your art generates income, your entire relationship with it changes. You start making decisions based on the market, not just your mood and not just how you feel, not your attitude. I've had several moments where the light bulb clicked for me with eBay. Certain things that like, whoa, okay, I figured this part out. I figured this thing out. Once it happens, because you have more data points of what the market wants, things change. Once I see where the money's flowing in at, things change. I've always worked corporate jobs in corporate America, and I would get paid either every week or every other week. And by doing that, I have no control of the I have no control of what's coming next. It was just always the static pay. But here, all of a sudden, I remember the light bulb moment. What? I put up some artwork on eBay. I kind of forgot that I did it. I just listed up there. I forgot about it. I'm still working my job. You know, I'm still in my mindset of the gallery artist. Things aren't working out. I'm just going to wait and keep playing the game of how they tell me to do. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing cha-ching. Artwork is selling that I forgot about. I listed as a buy it now, forgot about it. And I'm like, hold on. You mean to tell me that people actually wanted this artwork that took me 15 minutes to do? I thought was ugly in the moment. I thought nobody wanted it. I remember it was this painting, it was this paper piece. This paper piece that I did, and the paper piece might have been like a 12x9, but it was a super neo-expressionism quick sketch. It was with a charcoal stick. And the charcoal stick was like of a guy riding on top of a camel and he's holding a stick, pyramids in the background or something like that. I'm talking no detail at all, very neo-expressionism and rough. Someone paid, a collector paid $150 for that. Light bulb hit me. I was like, there's a market for it. Then I started doing paper fillers and I started flooding that just so I could have to buy it now. Then I understood more. I needed to do that to feed the algorithm when it comes to our auctions. All right, I'm done with this painting. Of course, there's always more that I could do with this, right? But we're just getting done with it and on to the next one. I like it, and trust me, people will love it. People will definitely love this. This will do well. All right, let me put my name on here. And then let me remember to take a picture of it too. So that way it's easier for me to list later on. Sometimes when we do these live streams, I forget to take a picture of the artwork that I do, and it becomes a pain later on for me because I have to go back and recatalog it. Oh, that's awesome. Whew, that's looking good. Boom. All right, here we go right here. Look at that. There's our bull right there. It's on mixed media. We're going to do one more mixed media piece right here. And then, yeah, we're going to get on. We're going to get on with the show. Happy to see you here, Discerning Light. Don't worry, you're not late to the show. We kind of just started. I had a late start today because I was building my palette. I was getting some things ready on here, so it's fine. You're here, perfect timing. That was just our first painting, to be honest. So think about that. All right, on to the next one. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Really means a lot. Really means a lot. You have no idea. What is this? Hopefully my thing's not upgrading. Oh, no, it's not. We're fine. All right, on to the next painting. All right. So we're going to do one more bull right here. This one we're going to do pretty quick. This one's going to be really fun. Really neo-expressionism as is, like said. Let's just cover the background with that white that we got. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I always say, the artwork is already there. You're already a phenomenal artist as well. The artwork is already there. You just have to do it. Just show up. But yeah, to close off that topic, what we were saying about hobbyist artists, the artists who get offended by this conversation are usually the ones who need it the most, the ones who already are making the money. You know, they just go along because they understand. All right, let's go here. All right, back to the art. Back to the art. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so we're back to it. On this topic, what we're going to be talking about right now is this one. This one is important. Most art courses or art coaches, they're scams. You know that though, right? You know that. They're scams. And I hate to be the one to say it. I hate to be that because, you know, I don't try to get involved with people's money or people's hustle, whatever it is. But most of them are scams because they're always telling you old traditional ways of how to sell art. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about when it comes to galleries, when it comes to art school. It's the same thing. They're teaching you these old, outdated ways to make money because they're gatekeeping. They don't really want you to make money. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll be hard pressed to find some art coach or art course who's not telling you, you just need to post on Instagram, or you just need to get on Facebook and have a Facebook group. You just need to have a newsletter and go to the art fair show. You'll be hard pressed to see anybody not telling you that stuff. They all say it. You just need to, I'm going to show you how to find your collector. You just need to make more artwork, take more pictures of it, post it on Instagram, tell people to sign up to your newsletter, build a website, have people come to your newsletter from your website, have them go to your landing page, create an ad. Like, they're telling you all this business stuff that takes thousands of dollars to start off with. Not only that, but just the time. You know, I'm the only one who teaches you the fastest way, I think, how to sell art. Because I'm telling from a standpoint of people who, even if you feel like you're not an artist and you didn't go to art school, because I didn't go to art school, you could start now. You could do this now. I'm showing you how to make the money now. Everybody else's, their fastest way is build up a catalog, an inventory, a portfolio that's going to take you a year at the shortest amount of time. And then out of those art pieces, whichever one has the most engagement rate clicks on there, those are going to be the ones that you profile as your strongest art pieces to go out into the art market. And then out of those art pieces, that's going to be the strongest ones. Then you can hit up galleries. I'm going to show you how to get a gallery. I seen some ad the other day, and maybe my algorithm is starting to see these people more because, right, like, I'm a coach, but I'm a different type of coach. And I don't know, I'm seeing these art coach gurus and they're like, I'm going to show you how to get signed by a gallery in 2026. Like, who are you saying this to? I mean, maybe there is a market out there who don't know any better and they still romanticize the idea of the 90s of what it's like or whatever, or they don't know, they're not part of the art world, so they're thinking that I want mommy and daddy to come to my art show. Or I don't know. But those days is over with. Galleries can't even keep their lights on. A real art business has repeatable revenue, a defined customer, a proven system, and results that you can verify. Most art courses, they have none of those things. They have none of those things because so they're talking in theory. Like, and in some of these, it's crazy. A lot of these art coaches too, sometimes I'll see where they have in the background like a painting or something. Well, I used to be an artist or I was doing this art stuff too. But if you check any of their stuff, you don't see no videos of them painting. You don't see no live streams of them painting. You don't see where there's a record of them selling so many art pieces. And it's like, you're talking from theory. I never wanted to do that. So that's why I always stressed, even when I started my YouTube out, to have so many art videos. Like I got so many painting videos of me painting and showing up doing the job. I always wanted to be that. That was always important to show that than just talking theory. There's too many theories out there. Like the course industry, they sell transformation without accountability. You pay, you watch, nothing changes. And somehow that's your fault. Like they make it a pawn of your fault. It's your fault. You pay. Oh, you didn't work hard enough. No systems. Well, you didn't have your email wasn't built right. You didn't have the funnels. I try to tell people because sometimes people hear from these coaches and they hit me up and they're like, well, how come you just don't sell from your website? I'm like, I do have a website, but also I'm being realistic. Do you know how much traffic I would have to spend and flood to go to my individual organic website page so people could go there and buy who's not familiar with me? That's cold traffic. And I'm going to have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars that I'm hoping that's going to pay off in the back end. Maybe 3 months from now, if I sell a painting for $10,000, which is rare in this market, that it'll pay off my ads and then I'll break even. That's crazy. When eBay is already spending $3 billion up front every single year. They already have the market there. I can't compete with that. I always tell people like, you can't compete with the market of eBay. The market is already there. Don't be silly. All right, let me get my black out. Where's the black? Oh, here it is. I can't imagine like when I had my web page, and then the thing is, I kind of gave up on the web page because I got tired of paying the hosting fees. I got tired of paying to host it because at that point I was only keeping it there as an advertisement if people wanted to look up to be like, oh, who's Corbellic, and to see, okay, he's got his own web page. All right, he must be super professional. Okay, that's a kind of like a more trust factor. But then after I started selling so much art on eBay, I was like, I don't even need it no more. I'm not going to keep paying all this money where nobody's buying from the web page. They're buying from eBay. Why do I need my page on there? And then it's like I still have some of my older gallery works that's on, what's that thing called? Instagram. So if people wanted to check that out, they could do that for free. But it would just cost me so much money to send organic traffic, organic cold traffic to my to my own landing page. That's what coaches are telling people to do. Like coaches with their own, they're over there hustling to people who either have full-time job and they got to spend thousands of dollars. Like I seen there was some people out there who was telling me that there's coaches out there who was charging like $2,000 or so. Like, come on, that's a hustle. That's a racket right there. How you gonna sell something like that to artists when most artists are just trying to like figure it out? And then it's like, well, and then art is so subjective. How do you have the market for that where you could be like, well, you'll make the money off of it if you just have a newsletter that's strong enough. The newsletter needs to be eye appealing. And then they're teaching people that you need to do research in your own state to figure out where the art fairs are. And then you need to pack up your stuff and you need to drive 3 hours out to these art fairs. And then you need to unload there for a whole day. You need to pay for the lot. And then that's how you get it. And then if you don't get a sale, it's still good anyways, because it's marketing that people signed up to your newsletter and they get like, I can't with you guys. I can't with you guys. Like, you really expect people to do all of that hard work? I'm telling people, you don't even got to leave your house to sell on eBay. You can have everything delivered to you and picked up from you. Why are you wasting people's time? The difference between a course and a community is the difference between a map and a guide. One shows you the territory, the other walks you through it. That's why I love our community. I love our community because I never wanted to be the type of person, like I thought about this for years, even before I started coaching. I never wanted to be someone who's selling you a course and then I'm done. Oh, here's the course. And then you read the course and it's kind of like an instructions pamphlet. And you're like, but this part don't make sense to me. How do I build this part? Like you want some help with it, or you want other people who's also built the course with you. So when you come to the community, how we have it, you have a structure in there with a bunch of people that's already gone through the process, gone through the steps. They've made the sales. You can see the actual social proof is what we call it. And then you could be inspired off of that. But also I'm in the community daily. It's not where a lot of these coaches, they sell you they sell you a PDF thing and then they're done. They're done with you. You don't even hear back from them. They just sell you a pamphlet and then that's it. In comparison with the community, we have each other and we have weekly calls. Every Sunday we have weekly Q&A calls. We go over different things, or different things that might even be changing with the market. A course will never be evergreen where things could change off of it. It's like selling a book. A book can't change. A book is only that static information. In the community, we share each other's art links, so that way as soon as you join, you're automatically getting impressions. You're automatically getting impression rates. eBay doesn't know that you're a part of the cool community. They just see like, man, all of a sudden this store is popular. They're getting all these impression rates. How cool is that? And then what happens is they put you higher up on the algorithm. But as long as you're being consistent, everything works for you. That's the true snowball effect, is the consistency. I always say that real results look like a specific number over specific time frames. If a course can't show you those, then it's just selling hope packaged as education. That's why I've always been like, hey, I sold 18,000 paintings. You can see my numbers on eBay. You can see how many I've sold. Other coaches just going off of theory and what they're saying. It's kind of like going to a college, right? And they're teaching you about business, but they're not teaching you about how to use the computer or how to use the internet. Or it's like going to college in 2026, but they're not teaching you about AI. Like we're living in two different worlds then. We are living in completely two different worlds then. That's what our school does. And that's what these coaches basically do, the same thing. These art coach gurus in these art schools are pretty much the same thing. Theory. And I'm always one to always say those who can't teach. All right. That looks good. Let me just dry this off some. If you just came in right now, please leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Also, if you appreciate what we're talking about, leave a super chat on here. That goes a long way. Sheila said, an artist I was following online recommended to get a projector. And then when you got one, she never followed through to show you how to connect it, how to do anything. Exactly. Now me, I have plenty of videos online on YouTube, how to connect the projector, which projector that I bought for myself, which projector that I use. I don't have any secrets. Now I do have some gems, of course, that's in the community, but most of the stuff we talk about on here, if you listen enough to me, you're getting the same information if you listen enough. But it's also about implementation. Implementation is what people pay for. You could get the information. People get it. Everybody would be a millionaire because people are flooded with information. People get information all the time. But the thing is, hiring a coach or a mentor is about the implementation of it. These are the things that I follow through on. What kind of projector, how to set it up, how to go through different problem solvings. The reason that you have these coaches who do stuff like that is because they haven't gone through it themselves. They hear things, or a lot of times, even nowadays, you got these people who are just they're feeding too much of their life off of AI, and they're not in practicality. So AI is telling them to say this and say that, but they can't really talk about it like the back of their hand because they're not saying it. They're not saying it from experience. They're saying it from theory. Because that's how AI operates. I even have some people who come into the course sometimes and it annoys me. And then they're like, well, AI told me this answer. I'm like, you're talking to a computer that's talking through theory. Just come out directly and ask me, who lived it through experience and through human psychology of going through these different things numerous of times. I've had 8 years experience, over a decade experience selling art. Most of the times AI is just going to give you wrong information. And it's feeding off of the information that you already have that's inside of you based off of experience. Then that's when it works. Either than that, it's just guessing. To a point. You get what I'm saying, right? But AI told me. Verdant Garden, thank you so much. Verdant Garden says, thank you for being an authentic artist businessman. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Carrie says, I'm so impressed with how successful your new students have been on eBay. It's really amazing to see them get so many sales so quickly. I know, I'm always inspired by it too. I love it. I love it, but I'm also like, I always say to them, in a way, anytime I hear sales and they're always so inspired and they're happy about it, I say two things. Always celebrate the small wins, but I'm always like, duh, of course of course that you got that sell. You're a phenomenal person. I believe that everybody's a phenomenal person. You have beautiful art, you show up, then of course you're going to get the sales. God loves those who work and show up. So why wouldn't you get the sale? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because that's how I manifest, as not being surprised. You have to be like, you already have to put it in your mind that it's already happened. Anytime something great happens or a big sale or something, I'm never tripping like off of it like it's never happened before. You know, one of the things that I always say is pretend that you've been here before. Never act like you never been here before. Always pretend that you've been here before. When the success happens, you know, don't act like somebody who's never had anything. Act as if it was meant to happen because you've already mentally put it in your mind beforehand. You already mentally prepared for that success. Duh, of course that's going to happen to me. I had no second thoughts about it. I'm hearing in the comments that eBay's down today. Is that what's going on? I didn't get a message. But when it comes to these gurus and these art coaches, the scam is always intentional. The scam is always intentional. Some course creators, they genuinely believe what they teach. They just never built the business at scale. They never built it themselves. So the advice has never been stress tested. That's what makes me different than everybody online. That's why I could talk about it like the back of my hand. Because no one has gone through the stress that I've gone through with selling art on eBay. I wear that like a badge. I've sold 18,000 paintings. I wear it like a badge. No one can tell me anything past that. Art coaches can never say anything like that and they can't show the record on it. It's been stress tested. I only feel comfortable creating our community after I've had so many years doing it. If not, then it would just be the blind leading the blind. I would be like, someone asked me a question and I'd be like, hold on, let me get back to you and see what AI tells me. I gotta type it in the chat GPT first to see how to go about that situation. I've never had a Q&A that we do every Sunday where I'm like worried that someone's going to catch me as a fraud. they're going to they're going to find out about me. It sounds so silly to think about now. I don't even think these other art coaches or whatever, I don't even think they'll let you talk to them. I don't even think they'll let you talk to them because they sold you on the course and they're done. They're out. Thanks for the money. They don't have to deal with you. That's messed up. Or if they do, they just say all this jargon stuff. Like I said, I didn't build a course. I built a documented system from 18,000 real transactions. That's the fundamental. That's a different product. I crack myself up. I know. I love doing these mixed media pieces because they're so forgiving. Someone's gonna cast you as a frog. That's too funny. I hope not. I'm just joking. I'm not joking. They're like, damn that Corbellic. He exposes everything. All right, let's wrap this up so we can go into the next seggy, which is going to be fun. And it's going to be a change up. Let's see what you think about it. Just some random expressionism faces over here. Right? I like the red in the painting too. Anytime that I feel like I need to have something a little pop or a little red is always a good one to red's a good red is a good sells psychology as well too. Things in red sell very well. It's also a strong color. So feel free to, if you ever feel lost or something or in a direction or a choice, just use red. Can't go wrong. But also you can't go wrong with blue too. Blue is a cell psychology too. Like Picasso said, if he runs out of red, then he uses blue. If he runs out of blue, then he uses red. It's one of those things. I appreciate everybody being here right now. Even though I always say to myself, hey, if you appreciate this video, leave a like. I'm leaving a like right now to everybody watching the video right now. I appreciate you for being here this morning. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with Corbellic. That means a lot. It means a lot because sometimes I don't take it for granted. I don't take anything for granted. That's the blessing of life. I don't take anything for granted. But it's crazy. Sometimes I go into other channels or other art channels who are doing stuff and then they don't I don't know whatever reason they don't resonate with whatever their crowd is or whatever, and then I'm always like, I'm so thankful that people resonate with me, maybe because I'm just myself. Like I don't have a script. I'm just talking from life experience and you relate to it because it's real-ish, right? And that's always cool. So it's always a good thing to have your own tribe. But you know what? Like I always say, if I could do it, you could do it. And I'm not just talking about art. I'm talking about a life itself too, that whatever you can do, whatever too, there's something very special inside of you that you are capable of and that you can have people also relate to it. Either if it's gardening, cooking, baking cookies, there's something special inside of you that you really love and you can have your own community and your own tribe relate to it. I also have a course as well where I show you how you can monetize and build your own community based off of your experiences or things that you're into. It's called the Corbellic Blueprint Builder. The Blueprint Builder. It has everything built out for you of how you can do whatever yourself and whatever you're into, even if it is just art. But I don't want people to ever be like, just because you're part of the art community, to be like, well, what I'm really good at is art. That's not always true. There's other things that you're also great at. You're not just an artist. There's other things inside of you that you're great too. Don't feel like you just have to say that because you're here. You're more than an artist. I mean, we're naturally creative people. Lee says that she just got done packaging up 42 paintings that sold over the weekend while I was painting. Thanks for helping the time go by. Thanks for listening to me. 42 paintings. Woo-wee. What you guys know about that? See, when I'm telling people that I'm like on my weekends or stuff like that, I'm shipping 42 paintings out or 50 paintings out. Like, I know it's like people think this stuff is clickbait when I write this stuff or when I'm saying it. But once you start doing this for a year, 2 years, you're going to see that it just becomes normal and it's not clickbait. It's just your life. Lee, she started 5 months ago and she doesn't have any prior art experience. She's never painted and she's phenomenal because we're all phenomenal. I'm telling you, we're all like big children. The art is already inside of us. It's just that they got into our head about this other crap that's not real. All right, I'm gonna add a couple more touches on this, and then I'm done. Yep, she is. She's slinging that paint for sure. She's definitely slinging that paint. And the reason why is because she's burned the ships. She burned the ships where there is no going backwards. Or there's no going backwards where it's like, you have to put that in your mind. I want to make this to work. I have no choice. There is no going backwards. Once you put into your mind for anything in your life that you have a plan B or there's this, or then it's hard for you to succeed in certain things that you want in your life that could be better for you in your life. You have to put it in your mind that there is no going back. What else are you going to do but succeed? But also, I use the analogy where we have fun, where we're talking about the cartels. Take a picture. Ooh, this is a good painting. The cartel wants their money. So if the cartel wants their money, you're going to do anything that you can to figure out how to get the money. You're going to do anything that you can. Look at this painting right here. Isn't this cool? Check that out. We did this together. If I can do it, you can do it. Look, I just threw it to the wind. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's going to get sold. All right. Now to the cool part. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take just a very quick commercial break so that way I can set up into our next segment, which is going to be our whiteboard. And we're just going to be breaking down real quick the difference between using social media and eBay. All right. So I'm going to be back with you in just like a couple minutes. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you so that way you could get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated way. All right. All right. All right. All right, all right, all right. We are back right now. We are back. And today, what we're going to be talking about on this whiteboard breakdown, we're going to be talking about the difference between social media and eBay. All right. I mean, the pros and cons. I got to get some electrolytes in me real quick. All that talking. Oh, so much better. All right, let's break this down real quick. Social media versus eBay. All right. Social media versus eBay. And this all goes back into the topic of what we were saying, where, going into where we're talking about art coaches, where we're talking about people who want you to be a hobbyist. Hobbyist, when I think of people being a hobbyist, it's not that you're not creating art. It's not that you're not an artist. It's just that I think of you're just posting more. You're posting more on social media. You're making more. You're chasing the algorithm. You're chasing the clicks. You're chasing the likes. You're going into that format instead of actually having a system where you're selling to the market that is buying. So that's why I call it a hobbyist. I had plenty of people who are way better artists than I am, right? Like I never claimed to be the best artist, but I am the best artist because I sold 18,000 paintings. All right, these are the confidence that you need to put in your mind as well. It doesn't matter what it is, there's a market for it. But when I used to show my artwork to these people who are way better artists, and then I would be selling more, they'd be like, oh, so you're not doing it for the likes and for the clicks no more. You're not doing it for the love of the art. Now these people, they were professional hobbyists. Yes, they drew very well, they painted very well, they have all these different things, but they're a hobbyist. All right. And I'm pretty sure that you know people like this as well in your personal life where they're very talented. Don't get me wrong. But then what happens is, they're doing it for the free clicks. They're doing it for the free likes. They're not bringing money in. And we all know what happens after a while. I'm going to tell you what happens after a while because I know the system. I've been doing this for a while. You know what happens is they stop doing art. Most of them stop doing art, right? And the reason why they stop doing art is not because like, oh, I just grown out of it. I grown out of it. I don't like it no more. No, the reason that they stopped doing it and they won't tell nobody is because being a hobbyist doesn't pay the bills and they were doing it for free. All right. So here, the difference is here. Let's draw a line in the middle of this. Before I get into this, let me make sure that you can see me okay on the screen. All right. It does look good. Up, I still have the, let me turn this off. Face cam. All right, so let me just make sure this is live. There. Okay. I just need to make sure that we're all here together. Boom. All right. Just wanted to make sure that our system, our transition flow, everything happened. All right. So social media versus eBay. You couldn't pay me to go back to these days, right? With social media, you're posting every day for attention. Posting daily. And then the thing that sucks about posting daily when you're on social media is that they tell you that you have to do it in order so that way you don't miss out on the algorithm. You don't miss out on the engagement. They teach you, it gets to a point, like I was posting every single day and it was behind the scenes stuff. Like even if it wasn't an unfinished piece. Now this is the thing where it gets you, because then you're fighting on the fence when you're on social media, where you always want to show your prettiest stuff, right? You always want to show the Mona Lisas, but at the same time, you have to post every day. So now you're speeding against the time where it's like, am I only showing the prettiest stuff? If I show the ugly, then people are not going to think that I'm the gallery artist kind of person, because that's what you have to be for social media. You got to show only the highlights, right? When people are on social media and they're comparing their life to other people's lives, is only because they're showing the highlights. They're only showing that they're rich, they're in this car, they're in that house. They're not showing the actual reality, right? They're not showing the real life of how their life is. So that's how you get a lot of people who are depressed, because they're doing comparison by posting every single day, or not posting every single day, but trying to show, compare themselves to the pretty stuff. But us as artists, we have to post every single day to keep up with the engagement, to show more traffic. Now, also, what you're going to be doing is like behind the scenes stuff. So you're going to have to do, behind the scene artwork, and this is what I'm working on now. But there's no money in it. So really what happens is you become a content creator. You become a content creator, and that's not even what you want to be. You don't want to be a content creator. You want to be an artist. You just want to show up to your studio. You just want to do artwork. A lot of times when it comes to artists, we are introvert extroverts. All right. It's like, I just want to do the artwork. I don't want to have to deal with any of that extra stuff and deal with people and have to be a content creator. Let me just do the art. Now, when it comes to eBay, eBay already has the buyers. It has buyers. One of the things that I love telling people who are still into this world right here of posting daily, and they're doing it to be a content creator and to keep up with the engagement and to do the behind the scenes and to show the reels and to show the stories. One of the things that I love telling these people who are the hobbyist artists, and they might kind of question what we're doing, I say this, I show them this. On your eBay page where it has your actual followers, it has a follower count on there. I compare our followers versus their followers. Now I say this, my followers spent money with me. So these are actual people who have credit cards that's linked to it. These are the followers that I care about. You're worried about followers who haven't bought anything from you. So I always tell people I'd rather have 100 followers that's on my eBay page than 100,000 followers or 10,000 followers from my social media, because the social media is basically almost 0% conversion rate of people buying from you in comparison to the 100 followers that's on eBay. I could always reach out to them and I could always get a paycheck from them. Like I could always do business with them. Like that's important. And I see very, very quickly members that come into the community and they get 100 followers very quickly. It builds up very fast on eBay. They get 100 followers like that. And the followers, they're not real followers. Remember, they're collectors. Number 2, on chasing likes. Chasing likes, it kind of like talks about what we talked about on the first one. I can't stand that. It's like, I need to make sure that I'm getting real likes on there. I need to make sure that people like it and that my numbers are high and that I'm doing the algorithm. So I used to do things that really took time out. I was becoming a content creator in order so I could chase free likes. And I was doing things where it was time-lapse videos. So the time-lapse videos that I was doing, I would have a gallery painting, and then I would have set up my GoPro camera. I would set up my other camera over here, and then I would put them on 2-minute intervals of when they're filming. So that way I could do a time lapse video. Then I'd edit together. Then I put time. It was like so much work just for the painting. So we're talking about one painting just so I could get the likes. One painting took me 1 week to do, and that's me working fast for that Mona Lisa. But in between, I'm still doing the daily content where I'm showing, here, y'all, this is behind the scenes. This is what I'm working on. If I'm doing all of this, how can I have a full-time job to actually put money on the table to feed my family? How can I do that if I'm being a broke, free content creator chasing likes? Those days suck. So I always tell artists too, you're over here chasing likes from people who don't even like you. All right. You're over here chasing likes from people who you went to high school with 30 years ago. These people don't know who you are. You're a different person. They're a different person. And a lot of times you're conscious thinking about the free likes to make people, I'm an artist. Or maybe, hey, maybe you even went to art school, right? And you're chasing likes because you went to art school and you've been a straight A student your whole life. And you're scared to show people that all of a sudden that, you're getting F's on your art. All of a sudden you're making sloppy artwork and it's not too great. They're going to be like, oh, but you've been perfect your whole life. You're chasing likes. In comparison to when it comes to eBay, the buyers care about the end result, the product. It's all about the results. Instead of chasing the likes, they care about the results. They don't care about what it took for you to get there. So I always say that buyers don't care about the method. They don't care about how you got there. They don't care if you're using the Michaels paint, the Artist Loft paint, the Blix paint. They don't care about if you're using the golden paint. They don't care about the methods. Only people that care about the methods is the people who you're trying to impress with the free likes, who is often usually artists that you're trying to impress. They don't care about that. The buyers care about results. All right. They care about what the end product looks like. All right. It looks good, whatever. It looks beautiful. I don't care. Oh, did it last 1,000 years? They care about the results. Focus on the results, pumping the results out, not focused on the method, the process. And this is how long it took me. Who cares about that? Nobody cares. It's about getting the results. Throughout the beginning of time with artists, they always try to discover ways of how to become faster and to get their process over with. So that way they can already get to this part right here, which is the results. Number 3, you're thinking that viral means money. If I go viral, I'll get paid. People will like me. I tried to chase viral moments so much, and I had viral moments. I had viral moments. Mostly they came from me doing the time lapse videos and things like that. But you know what happens once you have you're thinking about viral moments so you can make the money. Then what happens is you're becoming a content creator and you're always constantly thinking about going viral. So then you're thinking about doing other things that's outside of art. Then you become one of these personalities where you're going to be like blindfolding yourself, and then you're going to be like hanging upside down from the ceiling and you're splattering paint up against it. And you got all these cool different camera angles because you're going viral. But then after that, it's not about the consistency of selling the artwork. It's not about the end results. It's about you chasing the viral money. And then you're just a content creator. I don't want to have to do that where I have to show up every single day thinking about being a content creator. I want to just create and focus on the artwork. I want to be able to pump out different ideas and different things I want to experiment with and put it out to where the market is at. All right. So based off of that is that my listings work when I sleep. So I could sell when sleeping. I love that feeling. I don't have to go viral. On eBay, I have moments where I'm it's like what do we call it when it's I have income coming when I'm sleeping. Now, of course, we had to still build the product, right? We still had to build it, but it comes to a point where I'm making so much product and it's already on the market where I'll get the cha-ching. I'll wake up to sales. You know how many times that I have members who's inside the community and they say, wow, I had a great morning because I woke up and I had sales. I had emails on there where I was getting sales. So you get your passive income on there. That's the word I was trying to think of. I was searching for something. The passive income. So this is my way of thinking of passive income. It's when we have items that's into your buy it now store, but also we have our items that's in the auction, of course. But the buy it now store, I just love that feeling. When I was working my corporate job and I forgot that I listed items on eBay because I'm still skeptical. I'm scorned. I'm jaded at this point about the art industry. But I tested it out and I put out items into eBay. Now, this is the crazy part. This is when the light bulb clicked for me. I was selling artwork when I was sleeping and I wasn't being consistent. I wasn't working it like daily. I wasn't feeding the algorithm. And then it clicked for me. I said to myself, all right, Corbellic, what would happen if I actually was consistent? I actually worked it. What would it look like if I actually just showed up daily and I actually did it? Then I would be selling more. Instead of waiting for viral moments of being a content creator, I could sell artwork not only from the auctions every single day where we get the paychecks of what we're talking about, but also we can get the buy it nows by being consistent from people coming to the store. It's a great feeling. I love this. This is what helped me come over to eBay. When I was in corporate America, I didn't believe in anything, but I forgot that I had artwork listed on eBay. I thought I was almost done giving up on that because I was just playing around with it. I didn't have a coach like me. I didn't have anybody teaching me the system. I didn't know anything. I just had artwork that was there. I woke up, cha-ching, cha-chings. I forgot that I had artwork that was there. Scariest part is, let me check my inventory to make sure that I got that artwork, right? Let me make sure that I got those. I don't know. And then they were there. So it's like when you're working a 9 to 5 and you're having this consistent paycheck, and then all of a sudden you get this additional money that comes on top of it and you weren't expecting it. It's like, I don't know. It's like the most freeing thing for me. It was the most freeing thing because I'm not going to go out and get a part-time job. And that's even more stressful. I don't have time for that. If I get a part-time job plus with my full-time job, that just means that I don't have time to paint. But here I'm actually making money from the art and it was there. Like, this saved my life. It saved my life. Number 4, feeling, I'm going to call this one feeling pressure to be a personality, right? You have to, I'm going to just say be fake. All right. Like, come on, let's be real. Like, you have to be fake on social media. You have to fake it to be this personality of who you're really not. You have to be like, maybe some days you're having a good day, maybe some days you're having a bad day. But all of a sudden, you always have to put on this personality so you could be a content creator. And I just never wanted to be that. I never wanted to be that. The thing that always worked for me and how I'm able to talk is I'm just being myself. And I'm not apologetic about it. Either you like my stuff or you don't like my stuff. Either it's for you or it's not for you. Either you want to make the sales or you don't want to make the sales. Either you want to use the projector or you don't want to use the projector. Either you want to do eBay or you want to do, I don't care. It's not my thing. My thing is what I'm able to talk about. I'm never going to be apologetic for what I'm saying. I'm never going to be apologetic for my life experience. I'm always being myself. And this is how I'm able to find my tribe is from you. Always be yourself. Always be authentic. But when you're doing social media, you can't be authentic because you're over there comparing yourself to what works for other people's content and who they are. And then you're also doing it for free likes. So when you're on free likes, you're in this whole weird mindset of this personality that you have to create because there's no money there. Me, like, I'm able to talk whatever I want to say and I'm able to do what I want because I didn't come to YouTube to be a content creator. I still feel like I'm not a content creator. I can walk away from this if I want to and be okay. All right. I'll be all right. I didn't come in here to be a content creator. I came in here to find my tribe or have my tribe find me. We found each other so that way I could show you how to make money. I don't care. I don't care about content creation and all that stuff. You can keep it. All right. Number 4 is you sell without a big audience. So it's all going about where you don't have to be fake. You can find your tribe. Find tribe. And what I mean by that, what I tell people all the time, even in no matter what you're in business, you don't have to have this big audience. You don't have to have this big super following. You don't have to have 100,000 followers on eBay. You don't have to have this big group of people that you're trying to impress. You can have you can make a career off of a small tribe. And that could be your community. You can offer your collectors. You don't have to have this big group. I used to think that I had like over 10,000 followers on my Instagram page, right? When I was in my gallery phase. And the sales conversion over there was like close to 0%. And I used to think that I had to have 100,000 and I used to have to go to this viral moments. I had to do all of this stuff. I was always thinking about being a content creator and being fake and all this other stuff just so that way I could make sales instead of having the right tribe find me. But only where the market is at. It only works if you know where the market is at, and the market is already on eBay because they're ready to buy. It just makes sense. But it didn't make sense to me at first. I'm not gonna always pretend that eBay made sense to me because it didn't. And I didn't understand it myself. Like I spent a long time. That's why when I was here and I was making sales when I was sleeping, I was almost giving up on eBay because I didn't believe in it and I wasn't working it and I was skeptical. I was like, what do you mean? Like, how are people making money over here? It doesn't make sense. But then it does. And then there's a whole system in place. All right, so let's see here. Number 5 is wasting time on algorithms. Algorithms. This is one of my specialties. You know, if you're already a part of the elite community, you already know I know all about algorithms. I could talk about it like the back of my hand, not just about on social media's algorithms, but pretty much on all tech platforms. I spent a lot of time. I went to conferences in Vegas. I went to Google's conferences. I spent a lot of money trying to understand these things and presenting myself and getting myself in the right circles to understand how these things work. And algorithms, the thing what it sucks about social media is that you're always going to be chasing it. You're always going to be chasing it because they always change. And then when they change, they're not going to tell you that it changed, right? Like there's people who was complaining this year because they used to be making money on TikTok or whatever, those, you know, the dance app or whatever you do. They were making money on the TikTok. And then all of a sudden this year, I guess after it got purchased domestically or whatever, that people were saying that their algorithms changed and they weren't making any money no more. Well, because algorithms changed. Algorithms change, and what happens? Now, eBay, the algorithms changed as well too, but not too much because their whole business model is to make money. Their whole business model pretty much stays the same of making money. And as long as you're consistent, that is the algorithm. Algorithm got more advanced on eBay because of the AI, but it's always based off the same thing. It's about making money. All right. So these are a lot of the things that I break down inside the community. If you're not already part of the elite community, click the link. It's inside the chat where it's either pinned to the top where you could go in there and you can see how we break everything down on there, how it works. But when it comes to eBay, the search traffic, it beats vanity metrics. So here, eBay already has the traffic. Like I said, they have 190 million viewers. And they have 150 million credit cards that's already linked in there from people who's already engaged shoppers. You can't beat that traffic. Like I said earlier, when people was like, well, how come you just don't build up your own website? How come you just don't do like, I'm not going to be chasing that algorithm like that when the traffic is already there. Why would I go anywhere where the traffic is already there and I could just present myself? It's easier for me to do that. That way I don't have to always chase my tail. I don't have to recreate the wheel and I don't have to guess on what the algorithm is because the algorithm is so convoluted. It's already convoluted over here on social media that they'll have you lost and thinking that you're shadow banned. And I know you know that feeling. If some of y'all are in here and you know that feeling of social media where you feel like you haven't been getting enough views. Last Last month, I was getting this many views for doing this same type of art. Now I'm not getting this many views. And then you start equating the views to money when you wasn't even getting a sell off of those views anyways. So why are you over here chasing likes and chasing the viral money when there's no money involved? Because you're thinking of the algorithms that keep changing on you. Algorithms keep changing on you for you to be broke. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to focus on the algorithms that's making me the money over here. And that is where the traffic is already at. Number 6, confusing views with sales. Views equal no sales. I'm just going to put it equals no sales because it doesn't. Confusing views with sales. I always tell people, don't day trade the numbers. When I'm saying don't day trade the numbers, don't day trade the viewers, don't day trade the watchers, don't day trade any of that. We don't even do that when it comes to eBay. But when you come over here to social media, you're day trading views like it equals money, and it equals zero. It equals no money. Instagram is not giving you any paycheck, and the people over here are not giving you any paycheck either who are viewing it. And a lot of times you don't even know who's viewing your stuff because it could actually just be robots. All right. It could be bots. Views don't equal sales. I have a course that's inside the elite community. It's called the secrets, some of the money secrets, but it's like hidden secrets that generates wealth to you. These are the things that's been passed down to like secret societies over the past thousands of years. And I have 17 chapters in there where it's all broken down how you could utilize things and you actually bring these things back into your life, such as of the hidden wealth. And one of the things that I talk about in here is don't be in a mindset of always having checking on views, checking on watchers, checking, because then that comes from a standpoint of scarcity. And then that comes from a standpoint also of anxiety. So off of that anxiety, what's going to happen is you're already going to put yourself in a lower vibration where you're not even going to be bringing in any money anyways. So when you're always thinking of checking, what is this, what is that, you're not going to be putting yourself in a positive vibration. Don't always put yourself in a mindset of scarcity and checking and worrying, because then it can be felt. It can be felt as someone who's in a state of mind of desperation, pretty much. That's the best way to explain it. In comparison to eBay, product first beats the content. All right. So we always go back to results. It's always results. Just going to put results here again. The product first beats content. All right, results. I'm going to put results beat content. When it comes to eBay, it's all about the listings. The listings will always beat content. I'd rather have listings. Why am I going to focus any time? I'm not focusing any more time on creating content and list, or I'm not going to create any more content, free content for free likes about a painting that I want to sell, instead of just making the painting and posting it on eBay. The results are the listings. They always will beat content. Content is a 0% conversion. I'm only doing this for vanity. Look, I understand this is a difficult conversation for some people who aren't part of the initiated. Trust me, I know. If you haven't already been through the fire, then I'm speaking Mandarin to you, okay? I'm speaking Mandarin to you and you don't understand it. But if you are part of the tribe and you've already gone through the fire and you know what I'm saying, then it makes complete sense to you of what I'm saying. I can't tell you not to do this because I've gone through this. I've gone through all of this. This is why I'm able to talk about this like the back of my hand. I'm able to talk about this because I went through this process. But I'm not going to pretend that I'm better than you right now and say that if I didn't go through this, that I would automatically be here, right? The only reason that I'm here and that I made the money is because I got fed up with this so much. But I understand that some people where you're so brainwashed. We were brainwashed. I was brainwashed into the idea of galleries and how you should be chasing the likes and you should be prolific and all of these things. If you didn't have those moments where you lived that, then it's got to be hard for me to tell you don't chase the fame, pretty much, right? Because you want to feel famous for your art. You want to feel like you're the special butterfly. I get it. And it's hard for me to say, oh, don't worry about being a special butterfly. Just get the money. But I understand some people got to go through this first. All right. Some people got to go through it. I understand it completely. But what's going to happen, this is going to be our last one right here, our last number. And this is the sad part, what's going to happen after all of this, because this is what happened to me, but God saved me, is burnout. Burnout. You're going to get burnt out. You're going to get burnt out trying to look popular. You're going to get burnt out to be popular. And I know people who in here, you relate to me, who's gone through that, where you've gone through to try to chase the algorithm, you try to go through, chase the engagement, and you're going to get burnt out trying to be popular. You know, it's one of those things. And it sucks, because then you're going to be thinking that it's about the art. You're going to be thinking that you're not as talented. You're going to be thinking that you're not that great. You're going to be thinking, what am I doing wrong? I've been trying to sell art. I've been trying to do all the things that they told me to do. And the reason that they're telling you all the wrong things, they know it's the wrong thing, is because they're trying to keep you broke and keep you in a position where you're not making money and you're not free and you're not doing the things that you could be doing to free your family. In comparison to when you're at eBay, right? When you're at eBay, sales matter more than attention. Sales, they beat attention. This is a hard pill to swallow. That's why I waited to end it off with this one. Because like I was saying, it's hard for me to explain this to people who aren't part of the initiated and who's gone through this. Because I understand humans want to feel attention. And you might be someone who, everybody's different. There's humans out there who want the attention more than they want the money. There's some people out there who feed their ego. And there's some people out there who want to feed their ego. And there's some people out there who want to feed their family. I can't tell you which one to be at. I'm not judgmental. I'm not going to say you're right or wrong. I'm just going to tell you of what worked for me and what gave me power in my life, because this is the real world that we live in, is the money. The money gives you the power. And then if you want to go back and do the gallery art and all that stuff, then you can, but at least you can hold your head up a little bit more high. But it's hard for me to tell people, especially if you're younger and you want attention, because you want the free likes, because you think that social media doesn't get billions of dollars from not understanding the psychology of the dopamine, from the free clicks to free likes. So it's hard for me to tell you to be special and rare and to fight that dopamine of the free clicks and free likes when they've already spent billions of dollars on the psychology to keep you hooked on your phone and the clicks. Some people rather hear the cha-ching cha-chings of a likes than to hear the cha-ching cha-chings of money coming in or a new collector. So it's based on where you're at. And that's the difference between wasting your time with social media versus where the real buyers is at on eBay and actually building a business up for yourself overnight. All right. So we're going to go back into the commercial break and set back up so we could go back into painting the last bit. All right. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or any outdated ways that they say that you have to sell art. Everything is already mapped out for you on eBay, where they already have the market there for you. I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay, and I did it by being a ghost. I wasn't on social media. I didn't use it to market. I didn't do any of that stuff. I just focused on being on eBay, and you can too from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to art fairs. You don't have to try to get new networking or anything like that. Everything is mapped out for you. So like I said, you don't have to be tech savvy. I have a system where you could copy and paste all the things in there. I have videos of how you can set up your account. I have everything there for you so that way you can get started. You get started with a 14-day sales activity challenge. That way you could get your first sales and then you could get your first transactions. You're going to have your first sales by the time that you're done with the 14-day sales activity. But the best part is that you're not alone. You're going to be having a supportive community that's going to be there along with you. Other courses, they just have where you're going through it alone and you're just trying to figure it out. But here, you're always going to have a full supportive community of people who already succeeded, who already gone through the steps and will help you along the way. And you can ask any questions. And we also have a weekly Q&A call where you can ask me any questions. All right. So you have nothing to lose. Look, everything in the world has gone up in pricing. So give yourself a chance right now where you can make some additional income for yourself, for your family, and see what you want to do. Hold on, quick break. This is important. I want to let you know that you were already an artist, you were already a creator, and you were already a phenomenal person. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't have to have social media following, an email list, or all right, we are back. All right, we are back. We are back right now. All right, so let me know what you think right now. How did that go for you within the lessons that we did? Hope everybody was able to hear me, right? Like the microphone did pick up clearly. You were able to get some gems off of that, right? Well, we're just breaking it down, the difference. And let me see what we have here in the comments just to make sure that everybody's here. If you haven't already, leave me some likes in the video to let me know that you appreciate, the change up that we had over there where we just broke that down on the whiteboard and the gems that we're dropping. Got a whole production. All right, we're trying to do a whole production around here. Hope you like it. And right now, what we're going to do real quick, I have to give a really special shout out to a member in the community. I'm also going to be doing this as well, part of the live, where it's going to be a shout out. Now, this video right here is talking about how artists was able to make $1,000 in a day, and they were just surprised. They were really happy about it. They showed the proof of their numbers. So I'm just going to be sharing that with you right now, just to let you know, look, if they can do it, then you can do it, right? Like, we're all capable of doing it. It's just about showing up, doing the work, putting the work in, being consistent, and you can make it happen in such a short period of time. So I really want to show some appreciation. I want to show the spotlight right now to this special artist. All right, so let me do this right now and go into the segue. All right, all right. So for this artist right here, this is Robert Weasel. Let me make sure that we're fine on here. Just want to make sure. How's it looking for everybody here? I think we're good. All right, awesome. Here we go right here. So we have Robert Weasel right here, and he was able to so he was able to make $1,000 for himself in one day. He's really excited about it. So he just wanted to share it to the community. And these are important things right here too, because these are things that I show, and these are things that I like to highlight into the community just to let everybody else know that you're capable of doing it. Let me just read it off because my eyes aren't too great, so I have to get off the camera. He goes, wow. He goes, wow, I'm beside myself with joy right now. I made over $1,000 in sales in one day. Someone bought 14 buy it nows from me. I had to lower the offer to 60% off for each one, but that was the number and my goal. Corbellic doesn't lie. These are lottery tickets for sure. All right. So how cool is that right there, where he was able to break down the sales that he had for himself. He was able to make it to just the show, and he calls them lottery tickets. how we call it lottery tickets, because I always say that you can't be clever and think about what you know what the market wants. I always try to tell that to people, like, stop trying to be sophisticated and think that you know what's best for the market. The artwork that you think is the prettiest and the ones that you want to spend the most time on, those are the art pieces that are the ones that aren't going to sell. I'm not going to say they're not going to sell, but they're going to be a little bit slower. And you're going to be like, how come these aren't selling? They're not selling because you don't know what the market is. So also inside the elite community, I have a art generator prompt where it does a random prompt for you. So that way you could find different prompts, art references, and then it'll pump out a art painting for you. So that way you can have the reference and you could be able to find your own collector, your own style, or different things out there. Because trust me, you won't know. Let me go into what his video is on here. I think he put a video. And you could just see what some of his artwork looks like. Look at that. Beautiful artwork, but you can see their sketches. They're all pastel sketches right there. And these are things that he pumped out in such a short amount of time. Let's see what this picture is. And that's just amazing. And this is where you can see also in the community how we all support each other, how we're also supportive, and it's just encouraging to see. So these are the type of things when I hear things like this inside the community, I always post this as a win. I always post it as a win, and I put it into a certain section inside the community so everybody can find, and you can always be inspired by it, because these are things that I understand what it's like to be like, hey, I need a little bit of motivation. I need some inspiration. And then the cool thing is in the community, unlike any other course where we're talking about most courses are scams or gurus, right? Is that you could actually reach out to Robert and you could just actually, become friends with him. You can see how he was able to do it, see some tips, be an accountability partner. These are the cool things that's inside the community. And I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful for that. So I just wanted to share that with you. It really means a lot. Let's get back to painting. All right. So that's the segment that we got. All right. Let's get on to some painting. Let me pop this back out for our chat. Make sure everybody's here. All right, on to the painting. All right, let's see here. You guys are still here, right? Are you still here? Let me know. Give me some 5 5s if you're still here right now. I just want to make sure that my chat is working properly, that everybody's here. All right, awesome. Great to see. Thank you, Sweet Life. Thank you. All right, let's get on to the paintings. Let's get on to the paintings. So if you have any, I always talk about celebrate your small wins, because it doesn't matter. So if you also have some inspirational stories or some stories that you want to highlight and you want to be presented in the live stream, then leave it in the community. Leave it in the community so other people can see it. I see everything. I respond personally to everything. Leave it in there, and then I'll highlight you so that way people can know. Can know that if you can do it, they can do it. We can all do it. All right, about to head to the post office. I love hearing that, old skater. About to head to the post office to drop off some weekend sales. Let's go, everybody. That is amazing to hear. Let's do this. I have to, after I get off with the live stream, I have I have 2 one-on-one meetings, and then I have to go to the post office myself to drop off a commission. And then hopefully, then hopefully I could get some food in me, right? So on this topic, we're going to be talking about working for yourself. I'm always talking about working for yourself because nobody pays you like you pay yourself, right? Nobody pays you like you pay yourself. Work for yourself. Nobody pays you like you pay yourself. Talent gets you started, but consistency is what gets you paid. It's all about being consistent. One of the quotes that I used to say years ago is that when it comes to eBay, it's not really about talent. I noticed that it was like, I used to say, if you draw one stick figure on eBay, maybe some people will say, oh, you're a stick figure artist, and that's ugly. If you draw 100 of them, then they're going to say you're a professional stick figure artist, and they're going to want to pay you for it. Misty just says that she had 19 sales this weekend. Big wins. I'm seeing a lot of people with some big wins this weekend. A lot of people are saying some big wins this weekend. A lot of big wins are coming in. I'm telling you, it's all about being consistent. And I understand, look, we are in a business. I would be a guru, fake coach scammer if I told you that we don't experience markets just like any other business deals with markets, but you weather through them to get the money. There's going to be times where it looks like it's a down day. It looks like it's a down few days, or maybe the weekend wasn't as strong as last weekend. But when you total the numbers up at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter, you're always going to be making more money than what you did. I promise you that. I promise you that as long as you don't day trade the numbers and you stay with it and you're consistent and you look at the numbers at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, you're always going to be making more money. And it's just like any other business where we go through times where there's different things that might be a hang up on the market. But eBay has been in business for close to 40 years. And their business structure is to make money. They're not going anywhere. Every other business, I've had several businesses that I've started in my life, and this is still on the topic of what we're talking about now, working for yourself. I've had so many different businesses in my life that I've had before eBay, and a lot of them didn't work out for me because of different things of the market or different probables that I couldn't have control of. But eBay was the only one where it was a structure that I knew it wasn't going anywhere because they're a business model that I could understand where they're out to make money. And that was the only time in my life that I felt power where it was like, okay, I finally am in an industry that they can't take away from me. It's up to me. I always pray to God, just present me with an opportunity where I can have control over what I work, a form of capitalism per se, where it's like, let me just get paid off of what I do. Now, the part that sucks, though, if you come from corporate America, you could be you'll be used to a certain mindset where you get paid regardless kind of thing. So a lot of people who come from corporate America, it's kind of hard to turn into the mindset where all of a sudden you have to produce because you come from a world where you get paid regardless. eBay's cool to get paid if I'm working, but then there's certain times where it's like, maybe I didn't show up to work like that. Maybe my cocky attitude cost me a paycheck because I think I'm Corbellic and I don't have to show up to work. The market should just understand that I'm a brilliant artist. And then guess what? I lose out on a paycheck. And I'm like, dang, I want to blame somebody so bad, but I can't. And that's the thing that's crazy about eBay too, is like you'll get more conditioned into it where you'll be like, dang, I wanna in corporate America, I could blame somebody for me something losing out, or I'm still going to get a paycheck from corporate America, because that's the benefits of being in corporate America, is that you can still get a paycheck even when you screw up, or even when you're lazy, or you just show up to work. Oh, I'm having a bad day. Oh, I had some family issues. Oh, I'm kind of tired today, boss. Can I do half a day? Or you're on the internet, right? You still get your static paycheck. The difference is with eBay is that they know if you're really showing up to work or not. And you're like, dang, all right, let me change this around. I guess I can't lie to eBay. But nobody pays you like you pay yourself. I'd rather get $20 from eBay than $200,000 from my previous job, because they're just going to give me more responsibilities without no ownership. And nobody pays you like you pay yourself. You give me $20, I know how to scale up $20, right? I know what I need to do in my business to scale that up. I can't scale up whatever salary that you're giving me at a job to help me forget about my dreams, and there's no ownership in it, and you could take it away from me. You ever had a good job where it's giving you a pretty good, decent salary, and you start feeling yourself like you got that job forever, and you start buying things, or you start like all of a sudden the money's gone. The money's gone. Like you spent most of the money because you're feeling yourself and you're thinking that, and then reality hits you. Something happens at your job. It could be something where it's either a restructuring, which means layoff, or it could be like one of your managers or directors, they just kind of talk to you in a way that you didn't like. It didn't feel good. And you're like, damn, I need this job though, because I just went out this weekend and I just paid for this. I just bought these new jet skis. Damn it. And I just told my boss about it too, that I bought these new jet skis. Now they know they could talk to me recklessly because I need this job. Darn it. You ever been in that situation? Right? I rather pay myself $20. You got some people like getting $20 today from eBay or something, and they're mad about getting $20 today. And I'm tripping off of it. Like, how can you be mad at that? Like, that's such a privileged mindset. I'm happy about that. I'd rather get the $20 today, like including with the shipping or whatever, and a new collector. I'm not worried about that because I can always flip that. At least I can flip that up to how much more money I can make than somebody talking crazy to me. And they know they could talk crazy to me because I need the job. On paper, it says that I make $200,000 a year at this job. And then with taxes and 401k, Medicare, the insurance, all this stuff that comes out. And then I have to spend money during the weekends to feel good about my responsibilities that I got at this job. It's like the money's gone. Here, the money's gone. On paper, I made this amount of money. The money's gone. And then the real person I'm not mad at the job too much. I'm mad at myself. I spent this money to feel good about having this job. I spent most of it. It's gone. But also on the back of my mind, I'm feeling myself. I got this new job title. I'm this corporate whatever. But it's not there forever. And then were you prepared for the situation when it's going to be taken from you? Because they don't owe it to you to tell you when it's going to be taken from you. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you as long as they can that your job is guaranteed, and that it's always going to be there. And you're going to be caught off guard. But then when you're caught off guard, you already spent most of that salary that you thought that you was living high off the hog on. Work for yourself. Even just starting off, you have to like work for yourself. It's so much riskier now to not work for yourself or work in corporate America than to just work for yourself. Like you have the opportunity to sell art. You have the opportunity to get paid off of learning on the job. If you would have seen my earlier artwork that I was selling on eBay, it was atrocious. It was so ugly, but I was selling a lot of it because I was learning on the job. I'm getting paid to learn on the job. How many can relate to that? You get paid for a job, you get a salary only for them to give you more responsibilities. And so you could not be home. What's the point in that? Might as well make less money. At least you can have more of your time. But this is what society told you that you went to school for. This is what you need. And I'm like, dang, if only if I could work for myself. Before I did eBay, and I had this before I did eBay, I was trying to do Etsy, but I was doing it completely wrong, and I thought that Etsy didn't work because I just didn't know what I was doing. And the real thing that's wrong is just starting off with Etsy first. See, that's why inside the community, I have in there the cross listing course, because you really need to be starting off with eBay, and then it's easier to do the cross listing to Etsy. But that's another topic. And I was working this corporate job and I was getting paid very well. But they knew that since they were paying me that way, they owned me in a way. And they were like, I never forget, I had this meeting because they combined two different roles for my one position so they could save money when it was really supposed to go to two different people. And they consolidated these two roles for me. And then there was a meeting that this lady scheduled. It was my director, and but she also knew, like, because we were in the same like cubicle kind of setting where the other role was at, so it wasn't like it was across the hallway or anything like that, but she scheduled it at a time on purpose where she knew that we had our group meeting that was scheduled every morning. So I got done with we're in this meeting and it's like right here in the same cubicle, and I had to end the meeting short, like 10 minutes or whatever, because I had to go to this other one where it was like she knew. It was like they knew, like they set it up on purpose to see how I was going to go about it or something, like they were testing me. And they were like, well, you can't just end this meeting early and go right there. We're talking about right there. We're talking about the next desk over. Like it was in the same cubicle kind of thing. And they made such a big deal out of it. And it just like, they made me feel like so small in the moment just because I don't know, you know. But these are things in my mind. I know the story's not like I didn't articulate it right for you, but these are things in your mind where I'm pretty sure you have also these kind of stories that only you know about in your world. And if you explain it to somebody else, it probably comes out like that too. Like you're trying to explain what a dream is like. It doesn't make sense. But in your mind, it does make sense because you were there and only you could probably kind of like talk about it. And these are the things that I talk about as soon as you come into the community. Explain your why. What's your why? Your why is important because if you have these type of stories like I gave you right now, or even the stories that make sense only to you, because it sounds like you're speaking foreign to anybody else trying to explain the story. Put these things into your Rolodex, into your mind of like why. So you can never go back to that type of moment where it's like, hey Zinjin, yep, I'm painting today. Having a good time. Having a good time. I can't get away from painting too long. How many of you have experience like that, right? Where you have something at work where it's like if you try to explain it to somebody, it's like explaining a dream, and to that other person they don't get it, and it's like it's not a big deal, but you in the moment you understood the body behavior, the passive aggressive of it, and like the whole thing, and then just how it made you feel in the moment, but yet you still had to like, you can't cry over spilt milk, you just have to soak it up. Yeah, Mace Challenge is going to be so cool. If you're not already part of the elite community, you need to join the elite community, because this Friday we're starting off our monthly challenge. Every month that we're going to be having a painting challenge. Every single day we're going to have new prompts. It's going to be 2 prompts. That's it. That means it's just 2 canvases for you to create, but everybody's going to have the same prompts. So that way you could choose whichever reference that you want to select from whatever AI, from the app. And then you're going to post it in there, whatever your painting is. Make sure that you checked off. Then at the end of the month, whoever the top 3 people that were the most consistent and being accountable, showing that you showed up, then you're going to win $100 cash, however you want to receive it, Venmo, PayPal, whatever. And also you're going to get a one-on-one coaching call with me. That's going to be worth it right there. So that's a win-win, and we're going to be having that every single month. So that way, it's just going to make you get outside yourself with painting and creating things that maybe you wouldn't want to paint before, or you wouldn't have selected the paint. Have a good day, Sheila. All right, what's the next painting? And all of these paintings that I'm selecting from are paintings that I pulled up in the reference. Such a great thing to hear that people making themselves, saving lives around here. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Boom. Leave a like if you haven't already in the video. Really means a lot to me. Let's eBay's algorithm know that, just like anything else, that we have people that show up that care about what we're talking about. But if you didn't care that what we were talking about today, then that's fine too. You don't have to leave a like as long as you were here. That still shows up on the algorithm that you watched. So haha. All right, on to the next painting. I love doing Americana art. It's kind of my jam. And a lot of people love buying it as well. So I love doing things that are like Motel 66, Hotel this or whatever. And this is going to be the last painting right here. So we're going to knock this one out. That's right. Go small before you go big. Because what's going to happen is you're going to burn out. And you can say whatever you want to me as long as you want to be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's okay. Yes, you will. Go small before you go large. That way you could at least have the consistency for it and build your mind up for that paste. But also have eBay understand who you are. I'm muted. Oh, she said it's her. You scared me for a minute there. It's funny. Like there's been times where I've shot videos, right? Or like when I've done whiteboard videos, like how we did, and I have all these things all thought out, what I'm going to say. I have all these points or whatever, and I shoot like a 30-minute whiteboard video, and you know what happened? My mic was muted. My mic was muted, or I didn't have the record on, or something like that. It's happened numerous of times. You get PTSD from stuff like that, let me tell you. You'll never forget those points. And then you're like, oh, because then you always have these like off the cuff rare moments of things that like you don't really prepare for that you're saying. And then they come off like really good points. And you're like, dang, that was a good point that I was saying. And I gotta do it all over again. But when you work for yourself, algorithms, they reward consistency, not talent, not what's pretty. They don't know what's pretty. They just know the consistency about you showing up. So when Zinzin was saying of starting small before going large, I always say like, make sure that you put yourself in a situation where I'd rather you start off doing 3 a day, 5 a day, but then make sure that's consistent for 3 weeks that you've been doing that. And then go 10 a day or 5 a day, then 10 a day. Because at least eBay's algorithm is going to know you're consistent. The algorithm works the same when it comes to marketing, when it comes to advertising, when it comes to buying ads, is that it takes like a week or two for the algorithm to, it's called stabilize on your account. And in order for them to stabilize on your account, they have to know what your account is. They have to really know who to send out your ads to, which is the bids. So eBay works the same way as it works with marketing or like buying meta ads or any kind of advertising, is that they don't know who your market is, and they don't know who the customer base is. So if they don't know who your customer base is, and you're not doing the same thing consistently for at least 3 weeks while it's going through its testing phase, is what it's called. It's going through its testing phase on the background on your account. And it doesn't know who to give the most attention to for the clients. They know who their top collectors are. They have a sheet of who's the big spenders. But if you're not being consistent and you don't even have an understanding of what your store is, or 1 week your store is this price, the next week your store is this price, the next week your shipping is this price, the next week you're like, if you always have data like that from the beginning and you didn't even give it time to stabilize on your account, then your store, people always wonder, well, how come my store is not taking off? How come my store is because you're not being consistent. Just be consistent with small first. It doesn't even matter. Like, you see how I'm being sloppy with it like that? I like it like that look better. Like, I'm not trying to be too clean with it. We're just getting done over with. But yeah, the system needs to stabilize on your account because it's an algorithm. And then you scale up slowly. Then you scale up and the system knows that you're going to be consistent. Then the system knows that you're not a degenerate and you're not just going to leave customers high and dry. There's no way that Lee would have got 40 some orders if the system didn't know that she couldn't handle it. Because it has to stabilize on your account. These are all the things that you're going to learn and you're going to get inside the community. So that way it's not a guessing game. All right, let me dry this off and then I'm just going to do a quick sketch around it and that's it. The more simple the better. So that's what we have right there. Y'all still with me? Y'all still in the comments? Y'all die off? Let me know. Let me know if that story makes sense about corporate America or if you had situations like that. Those situations are more important than anything. Those are the situations that make you rich. As long as you could put it into your Rolodex and your memory of situations that happened to you and you could use that as inspiration. We will be back tomorrow for another live stream. It'll go by, it should go by a little bit smoother because at least that we have our paint palette set up. Let me know in the comments how you like the whiteboard segment on today's live stream, and also the artist spotlight where we share the wins. Let me know what you think about those new transitions added to the show. Like you see, like when I'm doing paintings like this, I'm not trying to be pretty. I'm doing them like the fastest, loosest that I can, because that's what gives it the flair. That's what gives it that artistic neo-expressionism touch that people really are yearning for now. The authentic look. These are the things that people hang up in their basements, even kitchens, or anywhere, especially their office. And it's really that simple. Carrie says, I love the artist spotlights. Those are very inspiring. Thank you, Carrie. They are inspiring. I love doing those. It's important. It's important, especially when you put the work in, and other people need to know that they can do it as well, because you can. Sweet Life says, thank you for these live streams. They really make a difference. Love the new format. As someone who never really painted before, watching you paint is very helpful. Love the picture. Thank you. Look, if I can do it, then you can do it. If I can do it, then you can do it. I mean, we're just creating art here. And it'll be even better and easier and faster for you because you're creating in the comfort of your home or wherever you're at, and you don't have to be vulnerable like me on camera, where you're also talking at the same time, keeping cliff notes of what we're saying. Like, you just do this and not think anything of it and just go on to the next one. So much fun. Like when I'm working alone, sometimes I'll just put on like a podcast that I want to listen to, or maybe a book, like an audio book. Or I have this monitor next to me. Maybe I'll put something on from YouTube and I'll let that watch me. I won't watch it, but just that way I have some type of stimulation. One of the things that I talk about, like I'm not talking about, it's hard, like we're human. I can't tell you to go to work and just go to prison, right? Like no stimulation, no cell phone whatsoever, no noise, no nothing. Like that's hard to do. I understand it. But what I'm talking about when we work on our 90 minutes is make sure during that time that at least you're not checking your phone, at least that you're not getting your dopamine hits from something. You can You can have something in the background, maybe like a podcast, or maybe like I don't even really listen to music anymore. Like when I'm doing art, I don't even do that. I'll do I like stimulation from something else. Maybe it's like I'll have something playing in the background and I'll work it that way. And then it's just easier to get lost in the moment and have fun with it. And that's that. That's that for this painting. All right, let me take a picture of this one as well, so I don't forget later on. And that's a wrap for today. All right, so that's a wrap for today. I appreciate everybody being here. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, cool. Let me put this up for you. Look at this painting right here. I love doing Americana pieces right here. So this is Route 66. A lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing these right here. I do a lot of these. I don't know what it is. I just love the expressionism of it, being free on it, and doing them, pumping them out pretty quickly. Oh, all right. So there we have it right there. That was today. That was a lot of fun. That was something different. We showed how we build our paint palette as we always do. We did our whiteboard video today, some artist spotlights, which is really cool. So that was awesome. I'm also going to be here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I hope to see you again tomorrow. But if not, then you can watch the replay on this. If you want to learn how you can do this for yourself, how you can build up your business so you don't have to work for anybody else. You don't have to hear people giving you orders or telling you different things to do. You can start slowly and start making the sales, just how Robert was able to make his $1,000 sales, just how Lee was able to make 42 shippings that she had to do, just how Zinjin was able to do 12 paintings. Look, we have people who are able to do it. That's the best thing, is seeing the success inside the community. So join us inside the community. Click the link below or click the link that's in the chat. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow and see what we're going to talk about. It was really fun today. Always enjoy painting, you know me. Also enjoy talking to you. So let's see what we have here. If we have any super chats before I close out. All right. All right. All right. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate it. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.